Looking at friends, 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at?
It's opinions. I respect the opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy Carhartt cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Hey guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football, Series 1, Episode 1. We are live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. Ace Podcast Nation, of course, you're home to many great shows and series featuring top guests, expert analysts and more. So do give us a follow on social media, subscribe to that YouTube channel, click the bell for notifications. And if you prefer your podcast in audio form, we are now part of the Sports Social Podcast Network, the UK's first all-sports podcast network. You can find all the shows that are produced by Ace Podcast Nation. And, of course, they do many podcasts on all different sports, including daily podcasts on the Premier League. Check out sport.social.co.uk. Just a bit of housekeeping as we wait for a few of the latecomers to join us. But as you know, we're supporting a charity Super 6 League this season with the channel, helping to raise money for two great charities. We've got the Maggie's Centre charity and, of course, Mind, the mental health charity. The last round, we had three people top the table on 14 points. Chuck Amity, Steve McKenzie and Neil Mackey. Well done to them. And, of course, I am in the naughty corner again for forgetting to enter my predictions. Mr. Andy Campbell topped the players' table this week on 9 points. But next round starts tomorrow at 3 p.m. Get your predictions in. If you'd like to join the league, all the links are in the description. Plus, there's, I think, 90 players so far. £540 in the prize pot and £800 raised for charity at the moment. But contact Will Melush. He'll probably be in the live chat, but you can contact him on Facebook and he'll add you to the group and the league and whatnot. But as ever, join us, raise some money for a good cause. But yes, delighted to start off this new show and even more delighted to welcome my co-host back to the channel after his previous stint during the Euros. He was very popular with the people, and it is Ex Salford City winger and manager, Mr. Rhodri Giggs. Welcome, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Thanks for having me. You?
Yeah, mate. I'm all right. I'm looking forward to this, because obviously the previous shows we did on Friday was very much like all championship. We had a little chat about some big stories, but it was generally all championship. And what we decided is we're just going to literally talk any and everything. There's obviously a lot of football stories which go on each week, and this week has not let us down whatsoever, and we'll get onto that in just a minute. But one thing that I was thinking this afternoon that I thought I might try to add in each week is normally when we have a guest, we do something called the Magnificent Seven, and we ask them 7 quickfire questions about their career and whatnot. But I'm going to try and adapt that to the weekly Magnificent Seven for you. So each week I'll ask you 7 quickfire questions. Technically it's 6, and then the last question is a bit longer. But we'll see how we go with that and see how it works, because it's going to have to be changed each week. But we'll go. So right then, Rhodri, 7 quickfire questions. Best move of the transfer window, Messi or Ronaldo?
Ooh, that's a difficult question, that.
It's a tricky one out the gate, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. I think everyone knew that Messi was probably going to go to PSG. I'm probably a bit biased because I'm a United fan, but yeah, the reaction we had for Ronaldo is
insane, isn't it?
Yeah, the queues for the mega stuff, the shirt. Now his numbers come out at 7, and just just the size of it. It's of being back at Manchester United. So I'd say Manchester United, but I'm biased on that one.
Yeah. Worst signing of the transfer window.
Worst signing of the transfer window, Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah, I got stuff to say about that as well in a bit. Which team has had the?
That's not a dig at Aaron Ramsdale. That's a dig at Arsenal. What do they need £30 million sub goalkeeper for?
Exactly that.
I'm sure there's more needs there for Arsenal.
Jesus Christ! In your opinion, who's had the best transfer window? I think I know the answer, but we'll see if it's different to what I think.
Yeah. United again. Just three quality players. 2 proven World Cup winner. Then you've Ronaldo, and then obviously Sancho, which is up and coming, which is exciting. So, but then Chelsea have had a good one as well. Yeah, Chelsea. So either United or Chelsea, but probably just edge at United because, a World Cup winner, Ronaldo, and Sancho, which we've been after for a while.
The first manager to be sacked this season.
I can't see him sacking Arteta with all the money just laid out. Mind you, they just sacked Edwin. So, I'm gonna go with Arteta. Yeah, there's no one else that glares. It's probably going to be someone else, but no one really glares out to me that is it maybe the Wolves manager. But watching Wolves play, I'm sure their results will just round the corner because they played well against us. So pretty sure their results are going to turn. So You'd think their results are going to turn, because I think they've had 3 1-0 losses and they've been really good in all of them. They just haven't put their chances away. But and then we've got in one word, who wins the Premier League and the Champions League this year? One word for each. That biased me. See, that's the question. But if you put a gun to my head, I'd probably say Chelsea. And Champions League, PSG.
They're going to finally do it, are they? Finally, they got it. If they don't do it this year, they ain't ever going to do it. I don't think. Yeah, exactly. Just with the team they got.
Mbappe's off at the end of this year as well.
Yeah. That's mental as well in itself that you can turn down 200 million for someone who can talk to other clubs in a couple of months.
So we've got Ramos as well with the experience that he brings as well.
Good signing that is. And then we got how long will Jose Mourinho last at Roma? It's almost like Mourinho bingo, isn't it?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
1 good year.
They'll probably get him close this year, or maybe even win it next year. And then that's when the downfall starts, and then they start slagging players, and he's not doing this, he's not doing that, it's his fault. And then,
And then it begins. And then the final question is, which is always a bit longer to answer, but I saw on your social media earlier, but TalkSPORT said today that I'm paraphrasing, but basically I think it was Gabby Agbonglahor, and I think it was Jamie O'Hara said they would rather have Harry Kane over Cristiano Ronaldo in the biggest moments in like a final or when it really counts. They'd rather have Harry Kane over Cristiano Ronaldo. And what I'd like to know is your view on Kane or Ronaldo in those big moments. and also what you think of TalkSPORT's view.
Well, it's not clickbait. It's TalkSport. It's Gabby Anglehall that has his opinion, which is fair enough. It's football about opinion, but to say you'd have Harry Kane in a cup final over Ronaldo is just absolutely ridiculous. Harry Kane's been in 3 finals, 0 goals, 0 wins. Ronaldo, the list goes on and on. He just scores for fun. So, yeah, he's obviously not done his research. Yeah, and they've got the clickbaits what they was after, but yeah, as just stupid.
Basic research, though, mate, as well, in there. Like you said there, just have a look at how Harry Kane's done in finals. Have a look at what Ronaldo's done in big games, and then you've got your answer. Then, like if they'd said, "Oh, I would have taken Ronaldo, but he's getting a bit older, so maybe in the next year or so that might change to Kane or something." Try and justify it that way, but like to just come out with it is just. I don't know. There's always
we've got Harry Kane, that's a world class footballer, and then you've got Ronaldo and Messi, who are just freaks of a different planet. So it's not bad to be world class. There's not many world class strikers about, but these 2 people are on different levels.
Yeah, they've changed.
Even just say, they take Harry Kane. Even if he'd scored and won finals, you're still not going to take him over Ronaldo. You may take him over Messi because. But you still wouldn't, because them 2 are just on a different level.
They've changed what it means, haven't they? To be like back when, say, 10 years, 15 years ago. So like when I was in my teens, early 20s, like if a striker scored 35 goals in all competitions, that was like an incredible season. Like Messi and Ronaldo, if they don't score 50 goals in all competitions every year, everyone's asking if they're done. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the difference in levels.
You're not going to lose Ronaldo and Messi for a guaranteed 2 or possibly 3 months a year, which you do with Harry Kane, because they play him to death and then his ankles are shot to bits. These people, Ronaldo's a machine. You see him yesterday when he took his shirt off. He's 36.
I was like that when I was 36, mate. It's just gone a bit downhill in the last couple of years. But when I was 36,
the papers are unkind again by showing a picture of Rooney who's 6 months older than Ronaldo. It's different. It's a big difference.
That's 6 months, though, mate. It makes a big difference. Like it goes downhill. But like that's an interesting one, because I was going to mention Griezmann now, because obviously Griezmann was tipped as the next one, wasn't he, after Messi and Ronaldo? But he's never really hit the same numbers that they have. Like, even when he was having those amazing seasons and he nearly went to United and he went to Barca. And Reece in the chat says, give me Griezmann over Kane any day of the week. And that's kind of interesting, because obviously Harry Kane's the out-and-out goal scorer. But I thought Griezmann, and probably Griezmann and Pogba, I thought were the 2 standout players for France in the Euros. I thought Griezmann was really good, but quite quietly just went about his business. And of course, he's gone back to Atletico, which is like one of the list of subjects, actually. So we'll get going. One of my list of subjects for this evening is the state of Barcelona. And like, in some ways, it's sad to see, but then in other ways, it's like it's of their own making, isn't it? So is where is Griezmann. Do you think he's got a bit of egg on his face, mate, having to kind of go back to Atletico on, I think it's on loan at the moment, but after the way he left?
In football, you forget pretty quickly. If you're a quality player and he goes back, which he is, he's probably got in his face to answer your question. But in football, they forget about it pretty quickly if he goes and scores a few goals, which he probably will do. Barcelona just in an absolute turmoil. So yeah, to lose the most, to say decade, they're probably the best player that they've ever put on the shirt is just a travesty. So yeah, they're in trouble, but no, they've still started okay in the league. They're still they've won 2 and drawn 1.
Well, in actual fact, like from a purely football point of view, yes, of course, losing Griezmann and losing Messi is going to be.
No, but is that it, mate? Is that it? Is there going to be more coming?
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if they cancel anyone's contracts, because I know for a fact they were trying to get rid of a couple of those younger players, like not like the really young players, the ones who are who've broken in the last couple of years, like Titi and a couple of the other ones. And it's like, will they end up cancelling any of those contracts to make up more money? But
sorry,
no, you're right. Like, you don't know if they're going to cancel any, and
you just never know if it's going to keep going. You know, in January they've got to trim the books, and then next year they've got to trim the books. So how deep is this going to go?
Well, what's mad is they still brought in Depay, who's exceptional. They brought in De Jong as a striker, who I think he can do a job. Like, when you compare it though, like Griezmann and Messi have gone, Suarez has gone in recent years, and they've brought in Braithwaite and De Jong, both decent footballers, but they're not Messi, Suarez, Griezmann.
No, there's levels.
That's a big drop in standard, isn't it?
Yeah, we talked about before, like Ronaldo and Messi to Kane. There's levels, and you know, it's not too bad to be under a level under them players, but yeah, Griezmann and Messi are just a bit better than Depay. No, Depay's started playing very, very well. He wasn't the best when he came to us, but he seems to have matured now. He seems to get better. So there's a player there, but you know, there's levels, and I just think them two players are a level apart from them.
I always thought Depay, it was a bit psychological with him. He always seemed like
money. I think it was just not the right time for him, and that's okay. That happens in football. Look at Saha, that happened. It was too early for him.
What about, like, you've obviously got Barcelona in turmoil financially, Madrid, and like Will makes a point there. He says, aren't Madrid meant to be in like severe financial difficulties, and they bid 200 million for Mbappe? Like, they can't be in that much problem, that much turmoil, can they, financially, if they're making those bids?
Well, Real Madrid have always been bailed out because they've got rich people who around.
Isn't one of them owned by the company, the bank, which owns the league? I forget it was Barcelona.
I think it's the royal family that's involved, one of the king or someone is involved that always bailed them out. So I think that's how they always get bailed out. But Barcelona's a different kettle of fish. But Real Madrid have always seemed to be bailed out by someone with money.
I mean, it would be interesting to see how Madrid get along, because obviously Bale's back in the team. He's playing. That's good for Wales, hopefully, as long as he doesn't pick up like an injury or anything. But I mean, he needs to play football. He's not very. I think he's pretty much only played for Wales and Spurs over the last couple of years. He needs to play football. So he seems to have a decent relationship with Ancelotti. So hopefully that'll be him. And like, he could be a good, like, he's almost like a new signing for him, isn't he? Because he hasn't played.
Oh yeah, 100%. If you get him going, he's can be on that level of Messi and Ronaldo on his day, because he's unplayable. But you know, we've not seen it enough for him because of the injuries, or he's not been playing, or his golf career.
Yeah.
So yeah. He's one of them top players.
The thing is with him is, and I always think this when I see the Madrid fans giving him shit on Twitter and stuff like that, like, they seem to forget, like, there was that couple of years where he won him those Champions Leagues, and the one in particular, he almost won it like single-handedly in the final. Like, they looked dead and buried, and he scored 2 goals, didn't he? But he scored that one where he outpaces the fullback, like he goes out and around him on the outside, and like, I'm not saying he's got that turn of pace now, but he's still an exceptional footballer if he's fit and sharp and focused.
Yeah,
it's
he's
just
a game changer. He's a game winner. So on his day, he's unplayable. But like I say, you need to see that more. But are we going to see it because he's getting older? But you know, there's no doubt his quality.
Absolutely, and that sort of takes us nicely into the next subject: game changers. So if I had said to you a week ago, what do you think of Man United's window? I would imagine you'd have said, it's been pretty good. Heaton, Varane, and Sancho. Maybe would have liked like a defensive midfielder or Trippier or someone that would have topped it off. And then a couple of days later, you had Ronaldo in as well. Like, as a United fan, you have to be excited first and foremost about that window.
Well, yeah, you do, but you have a little reminder in the Wolves game thing. All the players you brought in, and it still doesn't look enough because Wolves look pretty good. We were pretty poor in the first half, but you just got to put that down to a bad performance. And hopefully, when Ronaldo comes in, that 10-15% more they get out of the players because, they can't be playing like that for long periods of this season because they won't get anything. They were rubbish.
I thought against Wolves, Sancho looked like he was feeling the pressure a little bit, just like not necessarily the pressure.
To be honest, mate, I've not seen anything of this Sancho. I've not been a big fan of Bundesliga, so I've not really watched a lot of him. So I don't really know much about him, to be honest. But what I have seen, not really impressed at all. So, but you've got to give the kid time. He's just come to Manchester United. He's still young, so. Yeah, we just have to wait and see.
I think one of the good things about Ronaldo coming in is it takes the pressure off him completely. Takes the pressure off him, takes the pressure off Greenwood, because all expectations are on Ronaldo to do something special, or Fernandes to do something special. Whereas if
going to be one of them players to create that moment for him, we've seen in Portugal, Ronaldo didn't do it his own. People have got to make the assist and make the opportunities for him. And he's in them positions to do that. So, if he's in the position and doesn't perform and keeps on performing like he did against Wolves, then it's going to be a slow start for him. But like I say, you've got to give him time. He looks like he's picked up a little knock at England, so he might be carrying a little injury. Don't like it how he come back from pre-season. I'm pretty sure he could have cut it short and come back a bit early, but hey-ho.
He didn't play much in the Euros, did he? Let's be honest. He needed this big extended break.
I don't understand it. Lukaku, all big players have come in and started playing straight away. Varane and Sancho seem to
just stroll in.
Yeah.
When you look at the United side on paper, and you think like Ronaldo up top, you could have Greenwood doing the running in behind, or Cavani doing the running in behind, and then you have got the likes of Rashford, Sancho, Martial in those wider positions, and Pogba and Fernandes behind them playing those first touch balls, those balls over the top. It looks frightening on paper, but as we know, we're United, especially in recent years, like under Solskjaer, you can have a performance where they'll play like they did against Leeds and look phenomenal. And I know people will say, it's just Leeds, but you have to beat what's in front of you. They were very, very good. And they played like that against some top teams as well. But then you've got games like the Wolves game and the Europa League final where they just look sluggish and off the pace. It's difficult. And they've got to still put the work in to be able to create the chances for Cavani or Ronaldo, whoever it may be.
It's still not.
Do you think?
It's never easy with
No.
The Leeds. Well, not everyone's going to play like Leeds where they're open, and most are going to be sat back, and you've got to break them down, and that's what we found pretty difficult. So, we just have to keep our fingers crossed and just hope that the players that are there, because Pogba has to play there as one of them midfielders. He's not going to play left midfield because they've got too many options, even though I think it's probably his best position. But
sorry, mate.
Go on, mate. Go on.
I was just going to say I was listening to Phil Brown recently the other day, and he said he believes that Pogba will sign another contract now with United, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if he does, simply because I almost feel like there's two aspects to it. I think one, he wants to win things. He wants to win the biggest trophies. And two, I think he wanted United to show a bit of ambition in the transfer market. And I think, they've been there before with Rooney. He says, similar things. And I do think that he's got no excuses now in terms of whilst he's there, he can't blame a lack of quality around him. He's got to be focused and show what he can do. And, everyone knows he's special on his day, but he's got to do that 3 games out of 4 or 5 games out of 6, whatever. He's got to play like it regular. Does it become easier when you've got Cavani, Ronaldo, Rashford, Fernandes, whoever to aim for? I would assume so, but it's going to be it'd be interesting, mate.
It'd be interesting, and the pressure's on now because he's been given a lot of money to spend. Yes, he's come second, getting beat in finals. This is his 3rd season now, so he's got to be. They've got to be producing.
Do you think so? There's a few people in the comments just saying United have got a team now to win the league, but people are not convinced on the manager. And I think the thing to remember is a lot of the people in the comments are Cardiff City fans who obviously have not got the greatest of memories of Solskjaer as manager of Cardiff, and he didn't do a great job, but he's got a very different caliber of player to play with now.
No disrespect to Cardiff City, but this is Manchester United. You can't keep on getting the finals and going year on year out and not winning stuff, especially when you.
Donna wants to know if you rate him as a manager. He's still improving, isn't he?
Yeah. So
has he got a problem with the big games?
Yes, I do rate him as a manager, but bringing players in, let's sort that out. The players that he's got rid of, the players that he's brought in, has been first class. It's just tactically, is he good enough? Yes, we've seen in parts, but you've got to end up with. I'll repeat, this is not Cardiff City, it's Manchester United. Even though I love Cardiff City, this is not Cardiff City, it's Manchester United. It's different levels. You need to be winning things, and it gives him saving grace that he's a legend now, but there's still knives out for him, even so. So if he goes another year with Ronaldo and with the players that he's been given, I think it could become untenable, even though he's been given a new contract. If he's not winning things, what's he?
So I think they'll keep him regardless, unless United were like bottom of the league. I think they'll keep him until next summer, regardless, because I think
win anything this year, and then they go into the next year, and then it's looking the same. Yeah,
because one of the reasons
he wouldn't be able to argue with you, to be honest.
No, of course not.
Ask him honestly. He knows his situation. He knows where he's at. He preaches it all the time. Manchester United needs to be winning trophies.
Spot on, mate. And I think one of the reasons why I think they will hold on to him as long as possible, at least until next summer, is because I think supposedly one of the reasons Haaland went to Dortmund and not United was because his camp weren't confident that Solskjaer was going to keep the job. Like, they were worried that they'd come in and then Solskjaer would go. So I think United have shown that they're going to back the manager. So they'll want to keep him there to get, if they want Haaland, I would have thought. You still see a lot of United fans on social media saying that the sort of central midfield CDM is a problem, and that's the one player which could be the difference between United winning like a league and not. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, it looked for the life of me like Kieran Trippier was going to sign for United. Like, he had a house, everything was in place. He's a United fan, but they just couldn't agree a price. But that CDM has been it's not a new problem for them, is it?
No, I think McTominay could fit that spot, but obviously he's out injured. Fred, we've seen it. We're not convinced, even though he's got a goal this season and played okay. He's just okay. He's just But Varane might be the difference that we actually we said we needed a centre half. We've got a centre half and a top one as well at that. So hopefully that partnership bodes well, and they can kind of get away with not having a top quality holding midfielder, or because you have got players that can play there. McTominay can play there, and Fred can play there, but we need
Matic.
But yeah, we need Pogba playing there. We can't be having them two or one of them two playing and not Pogba playing, because it's just too defensive.
Stupid, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I seen a few people saying they fancied Victor Lindelof to play there. He's obviously a good footballer, and he's a defender, so he's quite physical. He's got the attributes to be good in that position. Could you see him make it a bit of a conversion to a holding midfielder?
We talked about this a couple of days ago with I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Gooney. But if they're obviously going to try it, they won't just throw him in. They'd see how he works, because he's good on the ball, he's defensive minded. So it could work, but like I said then, every footballer should be able to play every position. You're a footballer, you're a professional footballer, but that's just not the case. But centre half, centre midfield, holding, it's not that far apart. So
No.
And
What
like I say, if you're footballing mind, footballing brain, which Lindelof looks like he can play a bit of football, it's just that defensive. It is not the same, even though it's similar. So, but again, like I said, then this is Manchester United. We shouldn't be having centre halves playing holding midfield. We should have circles going in circle hole, not square pegs going in circle.
Yeah, it's you shouldn't be fitting someone in, should you? Richie's got a question for you. He wants to know what your United first 11 would be at the moment. But before you answer that, I'll give you a couple of minutes to think. I wanted to just quickly ask you about some of the squad players who either didn't go or were released or whatever. So Van de Beek had a loan move blocked. Lingard's didn't materialise going. Phil Jones not only is not going anywhere, refused to give up his number for Rafael Varane. Who else is there? There's a couple of others, squad players who perhaps could have been looking to be moved out. And of course,
I refused. If you're not going to play again, surely you don't have. Why do you have to vision? He's not going to play again.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because I don't know. I really didn't understand it, because he's what, 6th choice at best.
Yeah.
And I think he not only that, he's injured and he hasn't played, and it just creates this weird atmosphere, doesn't it? By refusing to give it up for the new signing, it creates this weird thing between him, the manager, everything. I look at it and I just think, I think Van de Beek will play, because from what I read today, Solskjaer blocked his move. Personally, he wanted him to stay. It's just where do you play him? Who do you play him in front of? Unless he plays as one of the two.
Yeah, that's a weird one. That it's Jesse Lingard as well. That's a funny one, because he's been brilliant. Is he going to play as much as he wants to? If you're going to be attacking, you'd go Pogba, Lingard, and Fernandes as a midfielder, but then he's trusting Paul Pogba as your midfielder.
So he just never looks the same, does he, Pogba, when he's at the bottom of the sort of three?
No, he needs
I don't
person just so he can, and which is
so he can wander.
Yeah, but which is what you want him to do, because he's got the quality to open the doors.
So, Richie said, what would you be your United first 11?
Oh, right now,
all players fit. Biggest game of the season.
No,
who would you pick?
All players fit, but I'm saying all players fit, but they're not. You said you want me to play all players fit? Yeah,
just what would be your first 11 if everyone was available and you had to win? It's a life or death game. Who would you pick as your 11?
Oh, De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Maguire, Shaw. That's the easy one. McTominay, Pogba, Fernandes, Greenwood, Ronaldo, Sancho on the left.
It's quite a team, isn't it? And then you look at the bench. Who would be on the bench then? You'd have Cavani,
Martial, Rashford,
Lingard,
Van der Beek.
Fucking hell, that's a bench and half, that is. What a bench that is.
Mm.
Crazy. So we had a couple of other questions. K Child says, question for Rhodri, do you think Bruno will still take the penalties or will it be Ronaldo?
No.
And the free kicks?
Bruno Fernandes will not be taking the free kicks or penalties while Ronaldo's at the club. I could guarantee that. Imagine Bruno Fernandes saying, come on.
No, I'm taking this.
Come on.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Now. Come on. He probably worded him. He probably had a laugh at him in training. Say, the penalty's over now, mate.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
What's he going to say to him? Come on, it's Ronaldo.
Yeah. I'm the penalty taker. What are you up to?
No.
Yeah. That's not happening, is it? Whatsoever. Donna says, do you think Dan James was sold to free up a shirt so that they could move Cavani to 21? I don't think that was the reason why he was sold. I think it was just a happy coincidence, wasn't it? Happy coincidence.
I don't think it was,
Were you surprised they sold him, though, and not loaned him? Out of all the players which I thought they might get rid of.
Played him 2 days before.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but But obviously, I was thinking he was doing it to get Trippier in, thinking, right, we've got Ronaldo. This was unexpected. We're going to have to get rid of someone to bring Trippier in. But yeah, because that's the problem, that right-hand side. If you look at the stats, they don't create much from that side. Where on the left-hand side, it's assists galore.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Trippier was nailed on. Just because of all the things I mentioned, didn't happen.
So did I.
But they create so much, mate, don't they, with Luke Shaw and everyone down the left. And I do think that Sancho will fire. And the fact is, if he does have a bit of a sticky start, they can bring in Martial or they can bring in Rashford or Greenwood, or they got a couple of players in the academy who are pretty tasty as well. And Ronaldo can do a job as well. Ronaldo can do a job. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can fill in. Lorna says that Dan James's face in the pictures, his first pictures at Leeds. Jesus, I've never seen someone look so miserable in all my life. He did not look happy whatsoever. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good move for him. I think it's a good move for Wales as well, because he needs to play, doesn't he?
He'll be playing mostly every week there, and yeah, it's not a bad place to play. Selham Road, there's a good crowd there. They're rocking at the minute, playing good football. It's a good move for him.
Yeah, and I think as well, it's the players who will play around him. Not so much around the players around him, but the way that Leeds play will suit him.
Yeah, I think you'll see a better Dan James than you did at Manchester United, because you'll see the Dan James who played against Chelsea in his first season, like second game or something, when they beat Chelsea 4-5-1, and he just ripped them apart with his pace. Yeah, because he's got that in him. But when he's playing week in, week out, it's so much better for players when they're playing week in, week out, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah. We got a new viewer there. Alexandra Oliveira says, who will be the players in attack with Cristiano? Could they play a 2, do you think, with Cavani in certain games? Or Greenwood?
Yeah, they could, I suppose. But maybe Greenwood would be the better. Mind you, Cavani does work a lot, so Cavani could play that number 10 role. Yeah, they could do it. Yeah.
United, in my opinion, though.
Pardon?
Go on. I was going to say last year United looked so much better when Cavani played. Whenever he was on the bench, they just looked a bit more disjointed going forward.
Well, you've got to have a presence up there, and Ronaldo has that presence as well. So I think Greenwood's a bit too young for it, but
Greenwood runs in behind, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, Greenwood. You can see Greenwood's going to be the centre forward for Man United for a long time, but he's just got to wait his turn. But he's done all right so far. He's got 2 goals already.
3, I think. No,
3.
2 or 3.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Great start.
He'll score goals wherever he plays. That kid is born to score goals.
Who's the in all the time like you've been watching football, so not necessarily United, just football generally, who's the best teenager you've seen play football whereby it doesn't even have to be someone who's gone on to have a great career, just a teenager who you've looked at and you thought, Lipinaki's good.
Well, the best obviously Ryan. People forget about it. You know, at 16, 17, he was playing regular first team football for Manchester United. Same Wayne Rooney.
Rooney at 16, wasn't he, when he scored that goal?
Wayne Rooney at 16. But yeah, but the most talented, probably Joe Cole.
Special
Joe
player.
Cole, yeah, 16,
Do you
17, 18. The stuff that he was doing with the ball. Yeah. And then obviously he was a bit of a trickster, but then went to Chelsea and Mourinho turned him into like a different player, but a winning player.
Yeah, I think, do you think Joe Cole, like, I really like Joe Cole, I like him as a pundit as well. Do you think, and I'm not saying he didn't, I'm asking the question, I guess, but do you think he achieved as much as what he could have with the talent that he's got? I'd have to have a look at.
You know what? His career petered out, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think maybe that's deceptive because he probably won a couple of Premier Leagues with Chelsea, I'm guessing, before I look.
Yeah, he won the Premier League. I'm pretty sure he won the Champions League as well.
He played with Liverpool, didn't he? Let's have a look. Honours. So he won 3 Premier Leagues, 2 FA Cups, 1 Football League Cup, 1 Champions League, and 1 Community Shield. Like, and he won a load of like Player of the Year and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a career that most people would dream of, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like that, those accolades and stuff. And he also won the Intertotal Cup, which is obviously the big one, in 1999. But who did he finish with? Because he went out to Tampa Bay, and had 3 seasons out there. So maybe that, and he did a couple of stints at Coventry. So I mean, maybe it did kind of just peter out a little bit. He played because he went and played League One football, and I don't knock him for that because one thing Andy says a lot is he'll say just play until you can't play, just keep playing and playing because once it's gone, it's gone. And I don't fault players for dropping down the league and playing for as long as they can because it's a very different life, once it's over, isn't it?
Yeah. No.
Got loads of questions for you, mate, but they're stacking up. So I'm going to guess some of these now. But where's that? Right, Richie says if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't deliver this season, could you see Ryan taking over?
No.
Then we got. Where do you think Cardiff will finish this season?
Ooh,
Bottom.
hopefully get promoted, but probably playoffs.
I think Cardiff might struggle. They got a paper thin squad. They keep getting rid of players, and they're cutting costs accordingly. On the teenager subject, Lorna Evans said before most people's time, but Norman Whiteside was one of the best teenagers she saw. George Best as well. Yeah. Go back the years, there was a few, wasn't there? Like Rooney's the one.
They were all Irish as well. There was a lad, Doherty, Adrian Doherty was a top player, but yeah, he obviously, I think he got drink problems and then obviously passed away early.
Okay. Because the one that sticks out for me is Wayne Rooney. I remember looking at him age 16 and he scored that goal and I'd heard on social media or in the news or on the radio or something, 16-year-old scores a goal for Everton versus Arsenal. And I was expecting to see this scrawny 16-year-old who looked 16. But even at 16, Wayne looked like a bloke, and he was he was special, mate. And I think people appreciate Wayne Rooney's football career more now after he's retired than they did when he was playing, other than United fans. because I don't believe he got the credit that he deserved as a footballer. And there was so much pressure on him with England to drag him to sort of success. But like I just said there about Joe Cole's, the honours that he won is like the dream career for anyone. I'm not going to list them all, but I can tell you the Wayne Rooney's honours are insane. What he won like 5 Premier Leagues or 6 Premier Leagues, 3 League Cups, FA Cups, Champions Leagues, World Club Cups. The individual honours are like just this list of stuff. Record goal scorer, record national team goal scorer. Definitely doesn't get the credit that he deserves. So that's an interesting one. Alexander Oliveira says there for him, he says that Ronaldo at the same age is far better than Mbappe. So how old is Mbappe now? Probably 20, is he? Do you think so? Basically, Alexander is saying he thinks that when Ronaldo was, so Mbappe's 22. So when Ronaldo was 22, Alexander is saying he thinks that Ronaldo was better at age 22. Would you say that's the case?
Ronaldo was better. Say that again.
Better than, so when Ronaldo was 22, he's better than what Mbappe is now at 22.
Oh.
It took Ronaldo a couple of years to get going, though, didn't it?
Ronaldo when he come to United.
He was 17, I think, when he came to United. I'll double check now.
Yeah, Ronaldo was better. Yeah.
Because it took Ronaldo. People forget it took Ronaldo a couple of years at United just to get going, didn't it?
After that, it was like 40 goals, 45 goals a season.
Yeah, it's insane. The consistency as well to be able to do that, like
just the standard
over and over again.
From his first season, he got like 30 goals, and after that, it was just 30, 40, 45, 50. It was like, what?
Jesus. Yeah, and I think again,
and Mbappe's playing in the pub league.
Yeah, and this is why I was so disappointed about Messi and to a lesser extent Ramos going to PSG. And it's no disrespect to PSG as a club. It's the league. It's just not competitive, really. I know that Lille won it last year, but it's just I wanted to see Messi because none of us thought he was going to leave Barcelona ever. Like we never thought he was going to leave Barcelona. So I just wanted to see if he could go and do it in the Premier League or something like that. And I was really disappointed when he went to PSG.
Took the easy way out, didn't
he? Yeah, guaranteed 50 goals.
Wherever he's going to go, they're going to have stars. But yeah, you'd want him to test himself more. I think when the careers end, I think there's going to be no arguing that who's the better player when you look at the international goals and what he did and what leagues he went to, it's Juventus, right? Who didn't have a successful, but the goals speak for itself. Real Madrid was unbelievable. Man United is unbelievable. Arguably the 2 best leagues. The French league is probably 4th behind the Bundesliga.
Yeah, they got the Serie A and the Bundesliga at least.
Maybe 5th, because you've got the Premier League. You've probably got La Liga. Then you've probably got Italian.
And then Bundesliga.
Then France. Yeah, it's probably 5th best league in the world.
Well, the thing is, the Bundesliga and the French league, they're both kind of like, it's like 1 or 2 teams every year who are going to win it. And I think, you get the odd season where another team will win it. Like Italy, where they had all the financial problems in Serie A, it's kind of evened everything out. So like all the teams are pretty much as a muchness, like maybe with the exception of Juventus. It would have been nice to see Ronaldo at United and Messi at Man City just to finish their careers off. That would have been like the icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
That wouldn't have been good because that would have been made City even better. So yeah, that would have been good for us, but they've been great for the neutrals.
Well, there you go. Alexander with the stats, he says Ronaldo at 22 would won Championship and the Ballon d'Or. So,
mate, well, assuming as what age he was coming to United, that means he was at United for 5 years. That means he had 1 year left. He was got to Real Madrid. He was
that last couple of years, he was incredible, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Those free kicks against Portsmouth, when the keeper just can't move.
That, mate, the goals that he scored against Fulham, Reading, to just one goal to win us the game. He was a beast, and he would come up with a goal.
Yes, it's the media, and Ian makes a good point there. He says the media kind of tried to make out like Messi deserved this sort of sympathy, and like for me, I would have had sympathy for him if he had gone anywhere but PSG. But he literally went to the place which was going to pay him like 750 grand a week. And look, this is probably the only move he's going to have now before his career's over. Good for him. Get the money while you can. But let's be honest, if he's not a billionaire now, he was not far off anyway. Like he's got more money. His grandkids are never going to have to work if they don't want to. He should have. If it was me, I'd have liked to have gone and challenged myself somewhere else because he had been at Barcelona for so long. Whereas, like Ronaldo could have gone to Qatar, could have gone to the MLS, could have gone to the Chinese league, anywhere, got paid a fortune, and just padded out his stats for a year or two. But he won't be able to pad out his stats at United, like in the Premier League. If he doesn't perform, it's going to be brutal for him. It's a big challenge, and I admire that. I've got to say. Gaz says if you had one person to take a free kick, and if the basically a free kick's got to go in to save your life, would you have Messi or Ronaldo take the free kick?
Oh, I'd have neither. I'd have David Beckham.
Yeah.
Probably Messi on that one.
I would as well. I think he's a bit more accurate just because of the style of free kick he takes as well. But when Ronaldo hits him and he hits them right, they are unstoppable.
It's probably 2 out of...
It's probably like 2 out of 10, I'd love to see the stats on it, but I reckon that would probably be about it.
3 out of 10 is not a good ratio, but when he hits them, yeah.
They look special, don't they?
Yeah.
What about... here's a question for you then. Who, in your opinion, is the best free kick taker of all time?
David Beckham. Easily. Easy.
Do you think that is like people's because I say the same, but do you think our memories have kind of softened with history? Because I can never remember Beckham like shanking a corner or a free kick, because or like
he didn't.
He must have. But I just never remember it happening.
I didn't. I used to watch him. Oh, I used to live in Salford, so I used to get the training. Sometimes bit the training ground a lot as well. So you'd see him practicing for hours and hours, doing that on a daily basis. There's no. Yeah, I used to see him do it all the time. So that's why he was so good at it. He was like a robot.
But he was one of those guys who, when he went up for a free kick, you were more surprised if he missed it than if he scored it.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to dig out, because I cannot remember David Beckham even hitting a wall.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
The keeper'd save it, or it'd be close, or it'd go in. That was it. It was never hit the wall, or it was either on target or goal, hit the post, hit the bar, keeper saves it. It was never any others. It was never like it's the wall, like goes flying over, it goes wide. Maybe wide a couple of times, but yeah, he's so accurate.
Mad, mate, mad. I was just looking now to see if there's any like stats on Beckham's free kicks, because I do wonder, with not just with him, but with
there's all kinds of free kicks from all different angles. So if he
used to do those. He used to curl it the other way, didn't he?
On the right hand side, he's whipping it far left, and or you can whip it round use just all kind of free kicks.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It's
scored from like 40 yards against Manchester City once at like Main Road early on in the game. It looked like about 40 yards out.
They few suggestions like Stuart Pearce, Ian Hart.
Ian Hart was good.
Jorginho.
Ward Prowse is very, very good.
Yes. Pearce. Kavanagh was always good at free kicks as well for Cardiff. Graham Kavanagh was always good at free kicks for Cardiff. But
there's some good ones out there. Ian Hart was good for Leeds. I remember he was good. Zola, very good. Yeah.
It's there's so many. Janino,
free kick.
Dennis Irwin, best penalty taker in history, mate. Dennis Irwin.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Come on, I would never miss a penalty.
For me, if I would put my life on someone taking a penalty for me, I said, there you go, Eric, take that.
You take Eric over.
Oh yeah.
Over Dennis Irwin for a penalty. Well.
Never missed.
Yeah, on the free kicks, Lauren Robert from Reese's Newcastle, Canio, Janino, Ronaldinho was obviously did a few famous ones, and obviously Ryan took a decent free kick. He was taking a free kick for United, wasn't he?
He used to practice all the time, but yeah, because Beckham was so good, he never really.
He was probably like what Bruno Fernandes is going to be like this year. He wanted the free kick and he wanted the penalties. Like Bruno's going to want him, and Ronaldo and Beckham's just like, nah, mate, not happening. Nope. But they had some free kick takers back in them days. Right, mate. I want to finish off with just a bit of a chat about the internationals, which have obviously just gone. Wales is the amount of players which withdrew through injury and COVID was absolutely mental. Like, I think it was 12 in total, or there was 10 withdrawals, and then there was 2. So there was 10 withdrawals and 2 couldn't get a visa. So they had 12 people pull out with that squad. Not a very big squad Wales have got anyway.
Where are they playing?
So it's in Russia. I think, or somewhere by there, it's been moved, the qualifier. They always seem to get these crappy, what's it called, like the travelling and that, like they did in the Euros, isn't it? But I think what it did do is it was only a friendly, it gave those young players a good opportunity. Belarus, they're playing. Gave them a good opportunity to get those young players in for that friendly, because when the qualifier, they rested, I think, did Bale come on? I know he was on the bench. They rested Bale and a couple of others. How much of it is clubs holding them back and not wanting to take risks with COVID and things like that? And especially where certain countries, players have got to isolate, haven't they, for 10 days, which was the whole palaver with Cavani not going to Uruguay.
You can understand it with the clubs, because they're spending millions on these players now, and if they're going to lose them for 2 or 3 weeks, they're going to do anything they can to try and get them out.
Yeah, and Wales have got Estonia on Wednesday. Like Wales need to make sure they don't lose the qualifier that they've got in this break, but it's going to be difficult. So much pressure on Gareth Bale because everyone else is out. Like Harry Wilson is there. He started the season, well, he had started the season fairly well. Then he got sent off in the championship, and then he missed a penalty for Wales on Saturday. So maybe he won't be.
It's always going to be difficult when you go into these places, but with these young players now, yes, they're young, but they've got a little bit of experience about them. So we'll have to just wait and see and see how they get on. But yeah, they need to be winning these kind of games.
Yes, they got to make sure the most important thing with the amount of injuries they got is don't lose.
No, and if they don't, and then the inquest will come at the end of the campaign. They'll go, well, what's going on? Why didn't we qualify? And they'll look at these times when the players didn't turn up, or the clubs kept players behind, or players found ways not to go. So yeah,
like these visa things, that's a joke, mate. I think at the level that we're talking, like to not have things like
played in Moscow, we had to get a visa. I think, did we have to get a visa? No, we got they got let off for the day. You can go in for 24 hours without a visa.
Right, okay. But like at the level, like professional football, like and national teams, there shouldn't be any issues with visas. They should be all done and dusted in plenty of time and stuff. But I guess because they had so many withdrawals, maybe they had to get quite a lot on short notice. I don't know, but it's certainly difficult. Hopefully, it doesn't have an effect.
European teams, they shouldn't need visas, especially European. No. Belarus European, so.
But I think it's because I might be wrong, but I think it's because the games are being played like over in by Russia and all them that bit, so it's a bit further. I think, I don't know. And then the other thing, of course, you don't want it to have an effect on the qualification because they're quite nicely positioned to qualify for the World Cup for the first time in a very long time. They still haven't named Page as permanent or what's happening with the manager. Do you think they can afford to just let it kind of? Can they just leave Robert Page as temporary manager until everything's sorted, or do you think they should make a decision one way or the other?
Yeah, I think they're just going to wait it out. To be honest,
they will, won't they? I think that's what I think they will do.
You know, if they do make a decision, and then things go a different way, yeah, they're going to look like they've got egg on the face. They're just going to have to see it all out and see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's all they can do, I guess. But it's frustrating, I guess, for the fans. But
yeah, it's not an ideal position to be in. But you know, the manager, they know the players. The player, he knows all the staff, knows where they want to go. They had pretty okay Euros, but this is the one that needs to qualify. Like you say, the World Cup got qualified for. Don't know how long, over 30 years.
1953, innit?
Yeah, well, there you go, 60, 70 years. So, yeah, this is the big one they need to get to. You know, they've done well in the Euros now the last 2 times getting there. This is the one they need to get to. And like I said, they've got a favourable group, and they should really be qualifying for it.
Yeah, my football bucket list will almost be complete if Wales qualify for a World Cup. I seen Cardiff in 2 finals. Saw them win 3 finals. Saw them win a trophy. Saw Wales at the Euros. I need Wales in there. Wales in qualify for a World Cup for the full house. But the last thing I wanted to ask you was kind of about the England game. Again, we saw like racist chanting and all this stuff. But just before we talk about that, Patrick Bamford in the England squad ahead of Mason Greenwood. Can you explain that to me? Because I don't get it at all.
No.
It's bizarre, mate, isn't it?
Obviously, by what I've read and what I've seen.
Do you think it's because he pulled out of the Euro squad?
The managers have had a chat and they've come to the conclusion that, yeah, but it's stupid.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
For not to be in that squad is stupid.
Yeah, especially the way he started the season is ridiculous. And then, like, I wonder whether it's a bit of a punishment because he pulled out of the Euro squad at the last minute. But
it's just cutting your nose, spite your face. This guy's going to be, I can pretty safe to say, even though he's not even played a lot of games for England so far, and he's at 19, 20, he will be the record goal saver Man United for England. He is a goal machine.
Yeah, and like Patrick Bamford, like we watched him a lot in the Championship on the Championship shows. He's all right. He's not a good finisher.
He's a good player, but yeah,
he's not a good finisher, mate. For a striker, he misses a lot of chances.
Yeah.
And
we talk about levels at the start of the show. Yeah, there's different levels.
Absolutely. And then obviously we had all this, the racist abuse, the things being thrown at the players. It's so frustrating, mate. Just constantly, every time it feels like every time England play an away game, something happens. I'm so fed up of it, and I really feel for Sterling.
The authorities to do the right thing, and the players to deal with it how they dealt with it. Pick the drinks.
I thought the players dealt with it superb.
Yeah. Batter them and beat them 4-0 and get out of there. That's the only way you can deal with it, and let the authorities deal with it, because it's not a football issue; it's a society problem. It's simple as that. Until these societies sort their issues out, it's always going to happen. It's always going to happen. So unless they get these things in place where people get arrested or people get banned or whatever, until that happens, people will always do it. But the way you to react for it is the way they react. Pick the stuff up, use it as a
have a laugh with it and
score more goals.
Don't I think so, mate.
Don't walk off or on that rubbish. No, stick it up and you want to be like that? Okay, there you go. 4-0.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on, mate. I like that. So that's all my subjects, mate, for this evening. I think we covered most of them and got through most of the questions. I think I'm going to have a very quick look, see if there's any others. Oh, that's an interesting one. Alexander, who was the one who was asking the questions about Ronaldo and Mbappe, he says Bruno is better now for free kicks and pens than Ronaldo. What do you reckon?
Free kicks, possibly. Even penalties, possibly. But do you really think Bruno Fernandes is going to pick a ball up and take a penalty when Ronaldo's on the pitch? Come on.
Yeah, I think the only way it happens is if Ronaldo says, you take the free kicks, I take the penalties.
It's not going to happen. Ronaldo don't come across to be a person that gives away penalties.
100%, mate.
That's why he scores so many goals, because he's selfish and that's why he's all the goals.
Greedy. All strikers, greedy.
Yeah. And you won't see any arguments. They won't see any tugging. They'll just respect, okay. And he'll be second take. I'm pretty sure he'll take a lot more free kicks than penalties. But, penalties. Sorry, Bruno.
Ronaldo's all day.
Big guys in town.
Yeah, daddy's home. Guys, thank you for joining us for the first episode of Rhodri Giggs on Football. Really enjoyed it. If there is particular subjects which you want us to talk about, we're going to be live every Friday at 7 o'clock, so you can send them to our social medias or email or whatever and send the subjects in. And, of course, we'll get through as many questions during the shows as we can. I'm back on Sunday for a big MMA and boxing show with Bellator fighter Lewis Long is joining myself and Danny, and we'll be talking the incredible UFC show tomorrow night with all the Brits on. It's going to be wicked to watch, and it's on at a decent time. Starts at like 6 o'clock, so it's going to be phenomenal. Really looking forward to that. But join us for that. I'll be back on Monday as well, and check it all out. Rhodri, as ever, mate, it's a pleasure. Really enjoyed our first Friday show.
No, enjoyed it, mate. Be good.
Top man.
He's flew. I didn't realise it's an hour and 7 minutes. What would be on like
I know. Went quick, mate, didn't it? Guys, make sure you join us next Friday. See you soon.
Giggs. G-I-G-G-S. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at?
It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion, Messi is better than me, but in my mind, I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I'ma cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy Carhartt cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on